How are you guys? Welcome back to Wargaming China. Well, you know what this channel is about. It's where I platform and waffle on about my understandings of the war of resistance in China against Japanese aggression. Now, you know I do this for modelers and wargamers, toy soldier enthusiasts, anybody who likes a bit of obscure history. Now, today I'm going to be talking about two different types of 37mm anti-tank gun in service in China. Now, recently I made a video on the Soviet 37mm anti-tank gun model 1931K. Now, China received 360 of these guns in total, so it's the most common 37mm anti-tank gun in Chinese service. Today I want to discuss German 37mm types, the Rheinmetall L50 and the PAK 3536. What's the difference between Rheinmetall and the PAK? Well, the Rheinmetall L50 just has a longer barrel than the PAK 3536. The PAK 36 barrel is 45 calibers long, and the L50 is obviously 50 calibers long. Now, the PAK 36 was a modernization of Rheinmetall's 3.7mm anti-tank gun issued to German cavalry formations in 1928. The gun received a spring suspension, magnesium alloy wheels, and pneumatic tires were added to enable it to be vehicle towed, and the design was finished by 1934 and entered service with the German Army in 1936. Now, just over 20,000 PAK 3536s were built, and production ended in 1943. Now, 6,000 of these 20,000 guns, 6,000 of them were built for export, and they served with Estonia, Finland, Greece, Italy, Holland, Romania, Slovakia, even Ethiopia, and of course China. Now, the gun was such a good service that when the Japanese captured it, they put them into service themselves, and some of these guns ended up serving in Guadalcanal. Now, also Japan's Type 97 tank gun is apparently a clone or a surrogate of the PAK 35 barrel, so certainly an influential gun. Now, Rheinmetall were the designers and makers of the PAK 36, and they had initially manufactured the L50. They'd manufactured it originally with an L50 barrel, but reduced the barrel make to L45 in 1935. China, seeing the opportunity to save some cash, bought 20 of the L50 prototypes. She bought these in 1934. The first 20 guns arrived in China with 20 Krupp Protzer tow trucks. Now, the Krupp Protzer was found to be unsuitable because they were too expensive, too heavy, and too wide for Chinese roads, and especially for the role of towing a 330 kilo anti-tank gun. So, not really being happy with these, China then placed an order for 20 Kubelwagens. Now, the Kubelwagens she bought were Mercedes 320 KWs, and they had fitted a few different types of bodies on them. I only have one in my collection, which is I think it's Britannia. It's quite big, you know, and there's things on it that I just don't like the MP40 that's molded. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got an MP40 molded onto it, so I don't really like it for Chinese service. So as I said, this Mercedes 320K, they bought a further 20 to tow the guns, and the Krupp Protzer trucks ended up serving with the artillery, although I have my own theory about what happened to them, but that's another video. Now, having procured by now 20 37mm L50 guns, and the trucks, the Kübelwagens, to tow them. The next order China placed was China placed an order in 1936 for 124 pack 35-36s, 124 37mm pack 36s. Now, these were delivered, they'd all been delivered by 1937. Now, she bought 20 of the 124. She bought 20 for use for vehicle tow, and 104 of them, they had modifications to the trail so that they could be horse towed. Now, in 1937, China issues her last order for the Pack 36. Now, this is where it gets complicated. A lot of books will tell you that China received 240 plus Pack 36s. It was actually 124 Pack 36s and 120 Rheinmetall L50s. The last 100 Rheinmetall L50s were ordered because China had found out that there were spare barrels at the factory, 100 spare barrels and components and parts to assemble 100 guns also. So China bought all the parts, all the gun barrels, and bought machinery and tooling to manufacture more guns and start producing the ammunition. And that gun would go on to be called the Type 30, and that's a different, we'll make a different video on that. So 124 packs served, Pack 36s served in China, so with the Chinese forces, obviously mainly with the Germanized divisions. Now, generally horse towed, but as I said, a number of different Mercedes type Kübelwagens did tow them, but references is always the Mercedes 320 kW. See if you can get that. Your army will be more accurate than mine. Also, the trucks themselves should be painted grey, and you probably would be right to leave the guns painted grey too, except for the final 100 that were put together in China. I painted them green, that's my mistake, but you often learn from my mistakes on this channel. Now, the 124 guns to be towed by horse were very, very similar to the pneumatic wheeled model. In fact, I haven't actually seen a spoked. I mean, I said this before about the Pack 35-36 guns. There's 3 or 4 of them in service that look like the Pack 36. You've got to be careful, but I don't believe I've ever seen a German Pack 36 with the wooden wheels in China. They've always got the pneumatic ones. So even if you're towing your Pack 36 with horses for China, as long as it is a Pack 36 and not a 1K or a Rheinmetall L50 or a Type 30, the pneumatic wheels are fine. Now, the gun did serve in Shanghai. It served on all fronts, Taizhuang, Changsha. It served everywhere throughout China, the 37mm guns. And of course, when the Chinese sent aid into Burma, we took with them Pack 36s. In Burma, apparently, they were towed by 2.5-ton trucks. And it's not the Dodge TV34 that I thought it was. That was only produced in 1943 onwards. I think they're probably Fords or Soviet Ford Lend-Lease trucks. But yeah, in Burma, they're not towed by the German Mercedes tows. Okay, now final thing, as we like to do, we've got a little bit of a gun comparison. So we take the Pack 36, so make a bit more room. Pack 36. That's the Rheinmetall. It's confusing. We take the Pack 36, and then we take the American US M3 37mm anti-tank gun, just for a comparison. Now, from my US Marines. Now, the Pack 35-36 entered service in 1934, or was designed in 1934, and the M3 was designed in 1938. Now, the Pack 36 was in service from 1937 in China and saw combat until the Korean War. The M3 saw combat from 1940 onwards. Still plenty of armies field the M3 37mm tank gun, so it's still in service. Number built 20,000 of the Pack 35-36, nearly 19,000 of the US M3. The shell type 37 by 250mm, same as all the German 37mm guns in Chinese service, and 37 by 223mm. Combat weight for the M3 is 315 kilos, and for the Pack 35 it's 330 kilos. And then finally, muzzle velocity, the Pack 36 is 760 meters a second, and the US M3 is 884 meters a second. And the US gun has a crew of 5, the Pack can be crewed by 4 to 6 men. Now, in Chinese service, hang on, just get a drink. In Chinese service, these guns were mainly formed into independent anti-tank gun companies or battalions. If we look at the Chinese armored formation, then we look at the anti-tank unit. It's 3 companies of Pack 36s with German tows, and that's 6 guns per company. And the 4th company is issued with Italian Bola 47mm guns. Now, in your service with your armies, you would probably find that a battalion, you know, the thing is that the Chinese don't call their guns artillery batteries, they call them companies. So a 4-gun company per division for the Germanized divisions, and maybe a 2-gun platoon to support the other non-governmental divisions, and many were kept in support at corps level or army group level to be distributed where they were needed. As I said, China didn't have many anti-tank guns, so they were certainly hard to find on. Everybody wanted them on their front, you know. There just weren't enough of them to go around, you know. As I said, their gun platoons are 2 gun companies of either 4 to 6, towed by what you saw today, and a very good weapon, capable of, in China, a very good weapon, capable of dealing with any Japanese tank on the battlefield until the end of the war. Obviously not so much in Europe, but the Germans did develop some special ammunition for them later, but this show isn't about the German army. So what else have I got to tell you? Yeah, certainly a good gun to get for your Chinese army. As I said, most of the pictures of these you'll see with pneumatic wheels, and certainly a very good gun to get for your armies. And I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you press like. Thanks. See ya.